Well, we've talked about who'll light the cauldron, but what about how? If who's been the biggest question, how has been the biggest tease. Remember that Rick Birch was behind the torch in Barcelona, so he set the standard. So how can he top that? Does he want to, or will there be a message? The longer this night evolves, the more secrets will be revealed and the more history will be written. We're going to the Super Down now. Pat Welsh is with Kieran Perkins.
Tomorrow will tell. I mean, I think
500 Aussies marching tonight. It's our biggest team ever, and Australia is the biggest team in the Games, and one whose path to this Games we've followed closely for years now. Kieran Perkins, how big a moment is this for you?
Oh, you can't put it in words. You know, it's my third Olympics. It's the first time I'll have marched an opening ceremony, and it's happening at home. So, you know, it's going to be incredible, and really, you know, I can't put it into words otherwise.
Kieran, this is something you vowed to do no matter what, wasn't it?
Oh, for sure. You know, just being at home in Australia, having the opportunity, and as I said, you know, I didn't get to march in the opening ceremony in my first two Olympics. So, you know, it was important to me to be involved, just because I know I won't get the chance again.
Now, marching's fine, but are you worried about getting wet?
No, not at all. This cloud's just to keep all the warmth in, so it's a nice warm night. We don't have to worry about any rain.
Well, I don't need to say it, Kieran, but enjoy the night.
I certainly will, no doubt. Thank you.
Good on you.
I jumped the gun a bit there. Kieran's on his way to the Superdome, and Belinda Emmett in the huge crowd here. Wonderful scenes here. So Pat Welsh is not too far from here. The John Williamson entertaining the 110,000 capacity crowd. It's a sea of colour here and bright lights and cameras going off left, right and centre as we get close to that moment that we have waited such a long time for. Now we're off to the Superdome. I jumped the gun a bit early, Paddy, and Pat's there with the Australian team captain, the man who's carrying the flag, Andrew Gaze.
I would imagine you would be the proudest man in this magnificent arena tonight.
It is. It's just full of excitement, a lot of fun and great anticipation. Can't wait to get out there.
A sea of colour, and when the Aussies arrived, there was just a great cheer from everyone. That's the Olympic feel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think there's a real spirit out there, and you certainly notice it in the village. And, you know, you come in here in the bus with all the athletes and that, and you start to think, well, hang on, I'm actually carrying the flag, sort of steering the ship. It's really humbling and great experience. I'm really looking forward to it.
Nearly every sport gets a start tomorrow, and yet there's still about 500 Aussies marching, so they all want to be part of it.
Absolutely. I mean, in Atlanta, we had a big decision because we played 10 o'clock the next morning, and the coaches actually said no, but the players said, no, hang on, we need to do this because we really think it'll be a positive thing for us. And a lot of the case here is that you draw a lot of energy out of this, a lot of spirit and pride, and I think that it can only be a good thing.
Now, there's a lot of your teammates who could make it, obviously. They're sitting back at the village watching this. What would you like to say to them?
Just like to say that, you know, we're all behind them. They're still very much a part of it, and we'll be marching around for them, and you know, we respect their decision, and hopefully it'll bring back some success tomorrow.
Now, there's an air of mystery with the arrival of the Aussies because you're all wearing these plastic ponchos. Why?
Well, twofold. One, it's looked a little bit overcast out there, but no, we just wanted to make sure we unveiled it right at the last moment so the whole Australia gets to see us, and I'm sure they'll be impressed with our get-up. It's a little bit different, but I think it's pretty good.
We wish you the very best of luck, not only tonight, but right the way through the Games, Andrew Gaze. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
And just behind me, some of the proudest men and women here, the 4 members of the International Olympic athletes, and that is the team from East Timor.
Well, they'll get a mighty roar. They're coming in just before the Australians tonight. So Andrew Gaze getting ready as we are here, and in just moments the rest of the world will join us for live coverage of this wonderful occasion. And for the next 16 days, every news service, newspaper, radio, cable and conversation will highlight these games in this country. What an honour. There's hardly any other event that commands such attention and can put a city and country on such a pedestal. That's what the Olympics does. It is the greatest show on earth. 3.7 billion people have joined us. That's more than 3 billion. And for the first time tonight, they are seeing live pictures of Sydney Harbour, the bridge and the Opera House.
What are you looking forward to during the Olympic Games?
Well, I'd like to see the locals do well.
I can't wait for the long distance events.
I'm not sure. I love long distance though.
Me, I'm a middle distance fan.
I love to see someone with great service and mobility.
I wouldn't mind seeing a surfing event.
Nah, I can't make up my mind. I just love it all.
I just love seeing people winning. I love it.
As long as they're Australians.
To make the most of Telstra's best ever deals, call 132200 now.
Well, we talked about how the cauldron will be lit, but I wonder who's going to light it. It's been the biggest question, hasn't it, since Nova Peiris-Kneebone became the first runner. Well, just 2 people, maybe now 3 know the answer. We know that Michael Knight knows, and we know that John Coates knows. And by now, somebody else has been told. The person, or maybe people, who've been given one of the country's greatest honours. I wonder where we go for a hint. We had a 19-year-old world record holder in Melbourne in 1956, Ron Clark. Another teenager in Tokyo in 1964 who was born on the very same day of the atom bomb in Hiroshima. In Barcelona, it was an archer. That's still fresh in our minds. Atlanta, it was the great one, Muhammad Ali. So who and how? But there is just the excitement you would have expected in this stadium. The anticipation is as you would imagine. Bob Carr and John Howard together. A mighty roar continues to crescend around the stadium. It's been 7 years, but at times it seemed like an eternity. It's a marvellous night in Sydney. It's been the most superb, brilliant build-up to this night. And we're almost there. None of us have to wait any longer. Tonight, a kaleidoscope of cultures, our cultures, and Gary Wilkinson and Ernie Dingo will describe them. And they'll be joined by Sandy Roberts and me for a night of mystery, intrigue, and a night of surprises. An emotional night, we're sure. The beauty of tonight is that it's for all of us. Whether you're a corporate guest in Sydney, a miner from Kalgoorlie who scraped every cent together to grab a seat high in the stands, or a mum and dad in Townsville sitting at home with the kids. Tonight, we will share this together.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sydney 2000 Games of the 27th Olympiad.
From the outback and from the mountains to the sea, Sydney and this pioneering land, Australia, welcome the world to the games of the 27th Olympiad in a real Aussie way. 120 stockmen led onto the arena by the man from Snowy River, and that's the music we hear in the background. The familiar music, the theme music from the movie that was composed by Bruce Rowland. And the man from Snowy River, of course, immortalised in the poetry of Banjo Paterson. Circle to form the Olympic rings. A celebration of Australia's outback heritage and the stock horse, which has played such a vital part in the nation's development, in exploration, transport, and the nation's burgeoning rural prosperity through the 19th and 20th centuries. Tradition carried on today, of course, by Australia's great equestrian sportsmen and women. G'day to the world. The fanfare from James Morrison.
Mesdames et messieurs, accueillons maintenant son Excellence, l'honorable Sir William Deane, gouverneur général d'Australie, et Monsieur Juan Antonio Samaranch, président du Comité international olympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome His Excellency the Honourable Sir William Deane, the Governor-General of Australia, and the President of the International Olympic Committee, Juan Antonio Samaranch.
That must be the swingingest fanfare ever to welcome the Governor-General and the President of the Olympic Committee.
Veuillez vous lever pour l'hymne national australien.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the Australian national anthem.
It'll begin with Human Nature, to be joined by the Sydney Symphony Orchestra and then Julie Anthony and choir.
We are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Australians all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. With golden soil and wealth for toil, our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance
Oh my goodness. I wonder how many times Julie Anthony has sung that anthem in a 30-year career, but never like that.
L'hymne national australien, interprété par James Morrison, Swing City, Human Nature et Julie Anthony, accompagné par l'Orchestre symphonique de Sydney.
The Australian national anthem was performed by James Morrison, Swing City, Human Nature and Julie Anthony with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra.
Start, and what wonders and excitement we've still got to come tonight. Ceremony tonight is designed to encapsulate the evolution of Australia from its ancient indigenous origins to a modern 21st century society. A wide, brown land linked inextricably to the sea. It is now and always has been a land of dreams. Year-old Nikki Webster represents young Australia and dreams, as we all do, of wide blue skies, of the sand and the sea. so the huge bowl of this Stadium Australia becomes an ocean for the exotic creatures of the deep. Extraordinary effect. This sequence devised and directed by Meryl Tankard. They've got 11 cables strung 45 meters above the arena to lift the performers and these wonderful creatures above the stadium floor.
Kick your leg. Come on. Don't lose it. Don't lose touch. Come on. Build up.
Laurie Lawrence, the dreaming Nikki and other young Aussies frolic and learn to swim in the ocean, perhaps the beginning of their sporting ambitions. And maybe, if Laurie Lawrence has his way, one day they'll be champions too.
Push up. That's the good. Come on, son. Let's go now. We're halfway. Push it there. Come on. Go. Get up there. Go.
Well, Australia might be a vast and in some parts arid land, but we are all inextricably linked to the sea with 36,735 kilometres of coastline. We all gravitate to it. The deep sea dream of young Australia is transformed by an undeniable call from an ancient heritage, by the dreamtime spirits of another age, but a culture still very much alive, Ernie Dingo, for Australia's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people.
Thanks, Wilco. G'day, mob. How are you? There's over 40,000 years of culture, over 600 Indigenous nations, over 200 Aboriginal groups representing over 250,000 Indigenous Australians. This is an awakening. Jakapura, the songman, calls the visitors to listen to the sounds of the earth. meet an ancient past and waken the spirits within. A young Australian girl is now a part of the land that is ancient culture. For hers too to share, first of all to understand the origins of where it all came from. This is Kunga Rangkarba, a dance from Central Australia, dances 7 Emu sisters, 300 women that come in from Nganyajara, Pitjantjatjara and Yankunytjatjara to perform the Take to the Heart of Australia, the ancient art, the ancient stories of the past, and to be embraced by the young Aboriginal culture of today, and to share in its history. Acceptance without questioning. Preparing for a welcome and a rebirth in unity so we can all be as one mob. The youth of today and the ancient culture of years gone by. Rebirth has started. The wonderful voice of Dunwala sings a Dunwala, which is a flag song. Flags represented with the Aboriginal community in the top end of Arnhem Land when the Macussan traders used to come over 4,000 years ago and trade shellfish with cloth and tobacco. Representation from the Nundulba, Yirrkala, Ramangini and Menangrida people from Arnhem Land. This will get your blood boiling. To the Torres Strait, welcoming the Torres Strait Islands as their brothers and sisters from the north of Queensland. And the Anmula, the rhythm dance to celebrate the energy of the Torres Strait Islands from far north Queensland. songmen from the top end are singing the dum-dum, which is the sound of the big boomer as it bounds across the flat. The Red Kangaroo Dance, welcoming the people, the Koori people of New South Wales, the host nation, welcoming them as the last to come onto their site and dance with the rest of the nation and prepare the unity that from ancient culture to the modern youth of today. Songmen come down to join the rest of his community. And a smoking ceremony is set up to cleanse the air of all ailment, to cleanse the air of all negativity, to cleanse this meeting place in preparation for rejoicement. Cleansing has happened, all the spirits are woken, called by the songmen. The Bradshaw paintings depicted in this by the Wuingwing, who are the helpers of the Wandjina, the great spirit that comes from the Kimberley region of Western Australia. People are one, they'll call upon the spirit of creation to awaken the spirit to lead them into a future that they want to be. Spirit that comes from the northern part of the Kimberley region of Western Spirit. The eyes, the nose, and no mouth to pass judgment. Will awaken the spirits around, giving the people the energy and the chance of rejoicement. unearthing had started, the land now needs to prepare for a new life that comes in the form of a bushfire. Controlled fires, traditionally by the Aboriginal people, that allowed the food source to multiply and be plentiful afterwards, ridding the land of excess, unwanted life. Bushfire that creates so much havoc about summer times in Australia. Bushfire occurring across the country every summer.
Makes you realise, doesn't it, that despite their origins in ancient times, the Olympic Games were a youthful pursuit alongside the 60,000-year-old culture of our Indigenous people. Australia can be a harsh land in so many ways, but in others, so bountiful. And what nature can take in fury with one hand, it can give back with the other. And in the endless cycle come the rains, and the blackened earth again nurtures life. Regenerates with the plants and the trees and all the blooms that make Australia, despite its barren stretches, perhaps the world's most diverse wildflower garden. Qatar, so distinctly Australian, and all of the other blooms, the Sturt desert pea, the water lilies, the banksia, the blue linalthea, the swamp daisies, and of course the eucalypts with their distinctive fragrance, and the golden flowered wattle. Aftermath of fire and flood, Australia's two constant companions, the flora and fauna of the land, survive and thrive. And now we transform into a painting by Jeffrey Samuels depicting all of the wonderful, unique Australian animals. Enchanting, dreamlike music is entitled Nature. It was composed and is conducted by Chong Lim and performed by the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. Chong Lim, of course, is the musical director for artists such as John Farnham, Kylie Minogue and Olivia Newton-John. Peter Wilson designed and directed the segment. Nearly 1,000 performers from physical education colleges. Nikki Webster and Jakapura survey the wonder of it all. Australia's ancient reverie is disturbed by an irresistible force with the arrival of a new culture, a new people. It's an age of discovery, the beginning of modernization, the dawning of a new era in a land as old as time. Figures inspired by the famous Ned Kelly series of paintings by the late Sir Sidney Nolan. The trials and tribulations of early European settlement helped to forge a unique Australian character with its mix of pioneering spirit, of energy and ingenuity, humour and larrikinism. Fire-breathing steel horse created out of derricks and pieces of agricultural machinery to represent a new technology that had come to the land. So many real Aussie icons, the rainwater tank, so familiar not only with early settlers but even today, some residents, many residents of outback Australia. Wheels of agricultural machinery turn. And where would Australia be without the ubiquitous corrugated iron? So many scenes that have become part of the Australian way of life. You weren't living if you didn't go to the show and see the wood chop. They called it the Tin Symphony, composed by Ian Cooper, John Frolick and Paul Gabowski. Settlement on the fringes of the Australian coastline soon spread, of course, to the plains and the grasslands beyond the mountains, and that set the scene for the nation's early prosperity, founded on agricultural and mining exports. Australia riding on the sheep's back, as it were. Tempo changes as Australia's rural traditions take hold. Cast of 1,000 performers again in this segment. Directed by Neil Jameson. A mammoth effort of choreography by Karen Johnson-Mortimer and Doug Jack. Representation of the sheep that we've just mentioned. Jolly Jumbucks proving a handful for the shearers, as always. And there's that corrugated iron again, how familiar it is. game of 2 up. Of course, all that rural prosperity fueled the growth of Australia's cities, and while Jakapura and our young Aussie dreamer Nikki Webster dreamt their dreams, the great Australian dream evolved. In a huge continent with a sparse population, there was room to move, and the quarter-acre block and the suburb became the home of most Australians, and Saturday morning meant the Victor Moa. How to placate this monster. This new technology. Nikki Webster's mum and dad are in the stands tonight. Tina and Mark and her brother Scott, how proud they must be of her starring role in this opening ceremony. But of course, Australia is an ever-changing land, and what began as a trickle in the 1788 became a flood as waves, successive waves of immigrants from all quarters of the globe staked their futures on the great southern land. Some of them convicts, many of them fleeing war and oppression and poverty, all of them seeking freedom and prosperity under the Southern Cross. Successive waves of people came to Australia from many cultures, many races, creeds and religions, from the four corners of the globe, from Africa, from Asia, the Americas, from Europe and Oceania. first non-Indigenous Australians, of course, were mainly English, Scottish, Irish and Welsh, but then the gold rush brought many more from China, from elsewhere in Asia, from the Pacific Islands and Germany. IOC President Juan Antonio Samaranch and Dawn Fraser enthralled by tonight's performance. Close neighbours, the Kiwis, and of course many of them now call Australia home. But of course in 1914 and again in 1939 the world was rent by war, and Australia opened its arms to refugees from the Balkans, from the Mediterranean, from Central Europe, and to people from many, many lands. Of course, it was a process that was encouraged by governments of the time in the 40s, the 50s and the 60s. Populate or perish was the cry, and what it did was transform Australia into the multicultural society that we have today under southern skies. vibrant, brilliant Australia.
There's a peace in our hearts and a hope in our hands. We're the family of children. We come from many different lands. Our time is just beginning. Our race is yet to run. But if you will take us with you, then we have already won. Under the southern skies, together in this land, every voice in celebration, a family hand in hand. Under the southern skies, as one we rise and turn our eyes to see for the wonder of the future in a world of harmony. There's a great spirit rising from the desert to the sea. As it sweeps across this southern land, it comes to you and me. When the dreamers and the dreaming, when the face of things yet to come, every child can be a hero if the world can live as one. Under the southern skies, together in this land, every voice in celebration, a family hand in hand. Under the southern skies, as one we rise and turn our eyes to see for the wonder of the future in a world of harmony. Under the southern skies, together in this land, every voice in celebration, a family hand in hand. Under the southern skies, as one we rise and turn our eyes to see all the wonder of the future in a world of harmony. All the wonder of the future in a world of harmony.
Nikki Webster and Jakapura, supported by 2,000 children and 500 other adult performers in a breathtaking sequence directed by Lex Marinos, choreographed by Jason Coleman. But in a new century stretching into a new millennium, a brash, confident, irreverent Australia celebrates its modernity and its future. single tap dog, the foreman summons the workers to build a new Australia of concrete and steel. Tap Dogs, led by Adam Garcia, star of the new film, Boot Men, representing the workers of the past century, building a new Australia. Reaches a climax with a representation of an icon of Australia's industry in the 20th century. Two cultures inextricably intertwined, sharing the same land, a celebration of Australia's past, present and future. Brilliant finale as Australia opens its arms to the world. On that world-famous bridge, the word eternity, the word penned so prolifically by the late Arthur Stace on city buildings and sidewalks in Sydney. Eternity, a reminder of our place in the scheme of things. Tap dancers from the cast of Tap Dogs, Hot Shoe Shuffle and Steel City. 500 tap dancers from tap schools all over Australia. 500 jazz dancers, abseilers, airboard riders. More than 2,500 performers in that sequence, designed and directed by Nigel Triffett. Excitement and anticipation in the stadium. The performances so far have just left you almost speechless. The village, the Australian athletes can hardly contain themselves. Chris Feidler and Phil Rogers, I saw there. Kerry Pothast will be competing, of course, in the beach volleyball. And Ian Thorpe there in the background, looking eagerly at the big screen that's been set up for them there as they anticipate their entry into the stadium.
Mesdames et messieurs, voici maintenant les musiciens du monde rassemblés dans la fanfare olympique de Sydney 2000.
Ladies and gentlemen, the musicians of the world in the Sydney 2000 Olympic Band.
$2,000 band members, 1,000 from all around Australia, another 1,000 from all around the world. What an effort it's been to bring them all together. Spare a thought for Bill Lutt from the World Projects Corporation, who was instrumental in doing it and was involved in a car accident in the Blue Mountains just a few days ago. He'll be watching tonight and he'll be thrilled that it's all come together. Spare a thought for Ivan Cocking, the musical director from John Paul College in Brisbane, who would have been conducting here tonight but for a heart attack mid-year. But he's here and he's watching too. largest marching band ever to perform. Conducted tonight by Barry Spanier from the United States, but the band is so large he's got 6 assistant composers.
I can't believe she can do this.
I don't know how they
Bond's Cozy Cuffs. Babies are going gaga over them.
Stand clear.
Don't test the wrong tyres on your family. Stick with Dunlop.
The 2000 Olympic Band reforms to the strains of Waltzing Matilda and forms the Sydney Olympic logo as we prepare to welcome the athletes of the world to the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games, the games of the 27th Olympiad. Huge reception from 110,000 people at Stadium Australia. Olympic theme as the 2000 band members move to the end of the arena to clear the field for the 10,000 athletes from 200 nations will soon parade before an eager, anticipating crowd and before 3.7 million viewers around the world, all watching to see the athletes march behind their flag to wish them well for these Olympic Games. The Olympic flame draws ever closer to the stadium. Who will light the flame? The question on everyone's mind. It has been for days, for weeks, for months, and we are still no closer to the answer, even though it's not long away. Will it be a great Australian Olympian? Will we be surprised? All of the above. Spectators enraptured by what they've seen here tonight in this most remarkable opening ceremony, and we've still got a long way to go. This is just the opening of the performance. The athletes have yet to come, and then the formal ceremonies, the Olympic flag, the oaths of the athletes, and of course the crowning glory, the ultimate, the lighting of the flame. Volunteers mark out the lines between which the various competing teams will line up as they enter the stadium after completing their circuit. Fanfare, a final fanfare from the Sydney 2000 Olympic Band as we prepare to join Sandy Roberts and Bruce McAvaney for the Parade of Nations.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons maintenant l'honneur de vous présenter les athlètes des Jeux de la 27e Olympiade.
Ladies and gentlemen,
200 in total, record number.
The 27th Olympiad.
Australia, as is tradition, will be the final nation to come out. And as always, the Greeks will be first. Their sailboarder, Nikos Kalamanikos, gold medal winner in Atlanta, is their flag bearer. So strong in weightlifting, athletics, sailing and water polo. They're the home of the Olympics. The ancient games were conducted there, and the modern games were revived in Athens in 1896, and I'm sure they'll be looking to Athens a little tonight in 4 years' time, where they'll host the games again.
They're making their debut in 4 new sports this year. Good to see them in equestrian, triathlon, which we're all looking forward to, archery, beach volleyball. In fact, you can make that 5, canoe kayaking as well. And they've been acclimatising in Perth, getting ready for this moment that they've been preparing for at least 4 years. 154 athletes. There's 92 men and 62 women.
Albania.
Ilirian Suli, a weightlifter, a 24-year-old weightlifter, is the Albanian flag waver. A small team, just 6 athletes, 4 men and 2 women.
Algeria.
41 from Algeria. Sayed Gurney carries the flag. Their great 800-metre runner. They have a new sensation, Sadie Sief, who will run in the 1,500 metres or the 5,000 and is the favourite to win there. They are very strong in middle distance running.
American Samoa.
Group of 5 volcanic islands between Hawaii and New Zealand. Lisa Misapika carries their flag. Lisa was the bronze medalist in the hammer in 1999 at the World Championships. She is a real chance here. The torch went through American Samoa.
Andorra.
Lies high in the Pyrenees Mountains on the French-Spanish border. Tiny little principality. First competed in the games in 1976. Tiny team of 5 here. No medals for the Andorrans over the years, but they are here in the spirit of the Olympic Games. They're getting a mighty cheer here.
Angola.
A special moment for Nadia Cruz, the breaststroker who's appearing in her 4th Olympic Games. Is the flag bearer. Angola has a dubious record, especially when it comes to basketball. Remember, they met the Dream Team back in 1992 and they copped a belting, 116-48 at one stage. The Americans went on a 46-1 run. Good news for them though, this time they're in a different pool than the Americans and they're looking forward to it. 32 athletes in total, 15 men and 17 women.
Antigua et Barbuda.
Antigua and Barbuda.
Leading them is 30-year-old Heather Samuel, competing in the 100 and 200 metres, and she's attending her 3rd Olympic Games. Antigua and Barbuda, like a number of countries, still to win an Olympic medal. Another small team, 8 athletes, 7 men and 1 woman.
L'Argentine.
Argentina.
Here's a slightly larger outfit led by Carlos Espinola, a silver medalist in sailing in Atlanta, and he's back again. Argentina having close links with the Olympic Games. Buenos Aires losing the bid to host the 56 Olympic Games, and they lost to Melbourne by just 1 vote. A good teams country. They've qualified in men's volleyball, men's and women's hockey, and a strong squad of some 145 athletes. 100 men, 45 women.
L'Arménie.
Armenia,
the smallest of the former Soviet republics. Much of the West is still recovering from the 1988 earthquake in which some 55,000 people died. A team of 27, they're very strong in wrestling. They won a gold medal in Atlanta in Greco-Roman wrestling. Heikaz Galstian carries their flag, and he is, without any surprise, in their wrestling team. It's the power sports they'll do well in.
Aruba.
One of the minnows lies off the coast of Venezuela in the South Caribbean Sea, part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Competed for the first time in Seoul in 1988. Richard Rodriguez, the marathon runner, carries the flag, just 5 from Aruba here in Sydney.
L'Autriche.
Austria.
Well, you think Olympics, you think Austria's a strong one, and they are, but it's mainly winters, but they are a big group of 93. Wallström Weibel of shooting carries the flag. Stephanie Graf, not Steffi Graf, but Stephanie Graf runs for them in the 800 metres. She was 7th in the World Championship final last year. They're in women's handball. They've won 15 gold medals in total at the Summer Olympics. 3 medals from Atlanta, a silver and a bronze. In the heart of Europe, Austria, into every Olympics except 1920. Azerbaijan on the west shore of the Caspian Sea, bounded on the north by Russia and a former member of the Soviet Union.
Yes, and a part of the unified team, Bruce, in 1992. Their most famous athlete is Inna Reskil, who won 4 medals as a Soviet volleyball. Their volleyball team very strong. A small group this year, 31 athletes, 25 men, 6 women, 21 of their team involved in boxing, judo, weightlifting and wrestling.
Les Bahamas.
Think of the Bahamas and you think of the Golden Girls, the 4x100 metre relay team. And Pauline Davis-Thompson was a member of that team. She's carrying the flag tonight. What a thrill for her. They have 27 competitors here in Sydney. 21 of those are in athletics, 4 in swimming, 2 in tennis. Pauline Davis-Thompson, besides being a fine athlete, just happens to train with Kathy Freeman.
Bahrain.
A first for Bahrain and a first for the Olympic Games, with Mariam Al-Hili contesting the 100-metre sprint and Fatima Karashi swimming in the 50 freestyle, the first females from an Arab Gulf nation to compete in the Olympics.
Bangladesh.
On the north coast of the Bay of Bengal, has competed in the Games from 1984. They have been to 5 Olympics now. 3 women on their team in a group of 5. Sabrina Sultana from shooting carries the flag.
Barbados.
This is a strong team. Andrea Blackett, their Commonwealth champion hurdler in the 400 metres hurdles, is carrying the flag. It's her first Olympics. She was 4th at the World Championships. They have a real chance of winning their first medal ever. Obadeli Thompson in the 200 metres, who was 4th behind Michael Johnson, has a real chance of going all the way here.
Belarus.
You think of Belarus, you think of gymnastics, you think of Olga Korbut, the elf from Grodno, who won 3 gold and a silver medal in Munich. And then, of course, there was Vitaly Sherbo, 4 bronze medals in '96 and 6 gold medals, representing the Soviet Union in 1992. And remember the name this year in gymnastics, Ivan Ivankov. Another of their athletes it's going to be a joy to see is Max Menyy, who's just celebrated victory in the US Open doubles with our very own Leighton Hewitt. And Katerina Karsten is leading the rowing team for Belarus, and they will be a very strong team again this year.
Belgium.
The Belgium's number 69. They've got a great runner, former Moroccan Mohamed Mourid, who holds the European record in the 3,000, 5,000 and 10,000 metres. He's the first man since Paavo Nurmi to have held those 3 records at the one time. They've been preparing in Tumbi Umbi on the central coast of New South Wales, where Brugula Judoka carries their flag.
Belize.
Over the next 2.5 weeks, we're going to see and hear a lot of a young lady by the name of Marion Jones from the United States. Her mother came from Belize. She left Belize in 1968 as a 22-year-old and now has joint citizenship, as does Marion.
Benin.
Another small team is Benin. They debuted in the Olympics in 1972, still yet to win a medal. Just 4 athletes, 3 men and 1 woman here in Sydney.
Les Bermudes.
Bermuda.
MJ Turnbridge hoping for big things in the 3-day event as far as equestrian is concerned at Horsley Park. Leads the Bermuda team. Penny Simmons, another prominent sportsman from Bermuda, has now competed at 4 Olympic Games, more than any other Bermudian.
Le Bhutan.
Bhutan.
The Kingdom of Bhutan. Archery is their sport. It's their national sport. Just 2 archers here this time. They first went to the Olympics in 1984. And Jubzang in archery is carrying their flag.
La Bolivie.
Bolivia.
The marathon runner, Marco Condori, carries the flag. Lies to the west of Brazil. They had a swimmer compete in 1936. They didn't compete again until Tokyo in 1964. Just a team of 5. One of the smaller teams here from Bolivia.
La Bosnie-Herzegovina.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Formerly a part of Yugoslavia, and listen to the roar. Let's go back to 1992. Mohamed Skender finished last in the heavyweight weightlifting competition, but 6 weeks before the Olympics, he was in a trench firing a machine gun at the Yugoslav army. He survived on 1 meal of rice and macaroni a day. He became ill at the Olympic Village when he overate foods that his body could not digest.
Le Botswana.
Botswana.
Botswana being led out by young boxer Gilbert Kunwani. They haven't had a lot of success in sport, but maybe in another recreation. The 19-year-old was Miss Universe recently. This team has had enormous success. Brazil, led by beach volleyballer Sandra Perez. She won gold in Atlanta. Of course, they're best known for football. We saw them warm up last night with a 4-0 win over Marconi. They've won 4 World Cups, but interestingly enough, still yet to win an Olympic gold medal in men's football. They have also in the past been strong in basketball, but they missed qualifying, so we're not going to be seeing that legendary player Oscar Schmidt in Sydney this year.
Just saw Gustavo Curtin, who's here, one of their great tennis players.
Les îles Vierges britanniques.
British Virgin Islands.
Well, from one of the big countries to the tiny British Virgin Islands, just one athlete, one of 2 teams with a single competitor. The other is Brunei, and he's a 200-metre runner.
Brunei Darussalam.
Brunei Darussalam.
And Brunei comes out behind them, the other team, with just one official competitor.
La Bulgarie.
Bulgaria.
97 from Bulgaria. Their rower, Ivo Yamakiv, is carrying the flag. They're very strong in weightlifting, as we know. They're very, very powerful in boxing and wrestling, and also in athletics. They sent a single athlete to the 1896 Olympics. He might have been Swiss, but he was training in Sofia.
Le Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
Formerly known as Upper Volta. An unforgettable moment for Sarah Tondi, competing in the 100 metres in track and field. She's just 17 years of age, leading her country.
Le Burundi.
Burundi.
And speaking of young stars, Diane Nukuri, the flag bearer for Burundi, is just 15 years of age. She's going to run the 5,000 metres, and she's the only female in the Burundi team.
Le Cambodge.
Cambodia.
To Cambodia. They went to the Olympics in 1956 to Stockholm, but not to Melbourne. Competed again in 64 and 72. Just 4 in their team, a couple of shooters and a couple of rowers.
Cameroon.
Already off to a flying start, beating Kuwait in men's football 3-2. Got a couple of very good sprinters, including Leonie Mani in the 100 metres, 38 in their team. They've competed in every Olympic since 1964. Got a silver medal in boxing. Their first medal was in 68.
Le Canada.
Canada.
What a cheer, a roar for Canada. It's the 9th biggest team, Caroline Brunet. Their brilliant canoeist is the world champion in the K1 500, is carrying the flag. It is a star-studded lineup. It's Dick Pound from the International Olympic Committee, former swimmer himself. And they are chock full of stars, including Carol Montgomery, who's one of the favourites tomorrow in women's triathlon.
A total, Bruce, of 308 athletes. And one to watch is just 15 years of age, Alexandra Despati, a magnificent young diver. And let's not forget Captain Canada, equestrian star Ian Miller, who's competing at his 7th Olympic Games.
Donovan Bailey and Bruni Sarin, can they make a dent in the American pride, head by Maurice Green?
Tanya Dubnikov is going to be making sure that the women's match sprint in cycling is not a 2-horse race between Felicia Ballinger and Australia's Michelle Ferris. And they've got a very fine young gymnast by the name of Alexander Jeltkov, trying to win only Canada's 2nd medal in gymnastics, and the first by a male gymnast.
Le Cap Vert.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde is being led out by 29-year-old Ismenia Federico. Representing Cape Verde on the track in the 100 metres. They're sending just 2 athletes.
Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands sending 1 more. They're sending 3. 1 man and 2 women. Kareem Street Thompson, a contender in the long jump. Street Thompson is the flag bearer. Back in 1999, broke Mike Powell's consecutive winning streak at 34.
La République centrafricaine.
Central African Republic.
3 athletes on the team. A lot of these teams look a little larger because the officials do march with them. Conjugo Michael, the discus thrower, is carrying the flag. They first competed in 1968 in Mexico City.
Le Tchad.
Chad.
To Chad, with just 2 competitors, they lost all their uniforms. An Australian clothing company provided their uniforms for the opening ceremony.
Le Chili.
Chile.
Marcelo Rios, we know him, don't he? World #1, he was the Australian finalist in 1998, one of their superstars. They were one of 13 countries represented at the first modern Olympics in 1896. 52 here. Men's football, they won last night. They put the Argentinians out actually to get here.
La République populaire de Chine.
People's Republic of China.
The team from China has been dramatically cut in recent weeks. 40 athletes and officials, nearly 10% of the total out of the team. But they're chasing 16 gold. That's what they achieved in Atlanta. They do possess some interesting stars. They have the tallest athlete at the Games, Ming Yao. Comes in at 2.27 metres, or if you're still working in the old scale, 7 feet 5 inches. Sadly, they're missing 2 stars, 2 sailors. Missed their plane, and they're not going to be competing. Their vessels are here, but they are not. Again, very strong in men's gymnastics and are favourites for the men's team event. And a magnificent young diver, Fu Ming Chai, is competing at her 3rd Olympics. She's already won 3 gold medals.
La Colombie.
Colombia.
From China to Colombia. Being led by flag bearer Maria Isabel Urrutia from the sport of weightlifting. She's ranked 7th in the world in the 75 kilogram class. She's been involved in weightlifting for 2 decades. Originally a very good discus thrower before focusing on weightlifting.
Les Comores.
Comoros.
The team doctor for Comoros is carrying the flag. The Comoros Islands are in the Indian Ocean between Mozambique and Madagascar.
Le Congo.
Congo.
To Congo, team of 5. Michelle Malian Mugabe, 100-metre freestyle swimmer, carries the flag. They're situated in West Central Africa, astride the equator.
Les îles Cook.
Cook Islands.
Well, the torch relay was here, wasn't it, at the Cook Islands? Sailing Mistral competitor Turia Vogel carries the flag.
Le Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Led out by athletics trainer and former Olympian from 1984, Karina Fernandez. The pole girls seem to dominate sport in Costa Rica. They've won 2 Olympic medals, 200-metre freestyler Sylvia Pole in 88, Claudia in 96, and Claudia is back to defend the 200 freestyle.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire. Ibrahim Mieti. Another fine young athlete, a 23-year-old, competing in a couple of events, the 100 metres and the 4x100 relay. They've been acclimatising in Adelaide.
La Croatie.
Croatia.
Zoran Primorac. table tennis star, a men's singles champion in tables tennis. Who'll be looking to add to their Olympic tally of 1 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals. They've also qualified for men's water polo and women's volleyball. But interestingly enough, not men's handball, where they're the reigning Olympic champions. They do have arguably the best woman volleyball player in the world, Barbara Jelic. Barbara's father is the coach of the team, so watch out for the Croatian women's volleyball team.
There.
Cuba.
And they've broken ranks, the Croatians, I think, in front of the Cubans. It's the largest team the Cubans have ever brought. And what a giant in the sport Felix Savon is in the Olympic sport. He's going for a 3rd consecutive boxing gold medal in the super heavyweight. He carries the flag, carries the hopes. They've got a brilliant women's volleyball team going for a 3rd consecutive gold medal. What about their baseball team? There's Sotomayor, their brilliant high jumper, who controversially, I must say, is here. He won the gold medal in 1992. His drug ban was cut in half. He's been able to compete. They are brilliant in track and field with Pedroso, Pania and Garcia, people to watch. But Savon, can he do what Stevenson did and win 3 in a row in the one division? Laszlo Papp is the only other boxer to have done it. He did it in different divisions. But Savon was picked out personally by Fidel Castro to carry the flag and to captain the team.
Cyprus.
So from Savon and Cuba to Cyprus, a team of 25. Antonis Andreas of shooting carries the flag. No medals for Cyprus at the Olympics. They first went in Moscow in 1980. 3rd largest island in the Mediterranean.
La République tchèque.
Czech Republic.
126 athletes from the Czech Republic have been settling in Brisbane, getting themselves acclimatised to the Australian conditions. Of those 126, 90 members are taking part in their first Olympic Games, led out by Martin Doctor, wonderful canoeist, a gold medalist from Atlanta. He's going for the C1 double at consecutive Olympics. Perhaps their best known athlete, though, is Jan Zelezny, going for his 3rd straight javelin title. His motto, work and sacrifice. It's on his training vest, and it's obviously paid dividends for Jan Zelezny.
La République démocratique du Congo.
Democratic Republic of the Congo.
In West Central Africa, formerly known as the Belgian Congo. Team of 5 athletes, 3 men and 2 women.
Le Danemark.
Denmark.
To the Danes, almost 100, 98. Their sailor Jesper Bank carries the flag. They've won 35 gold medals all up, 4 in 1996. Wilson Kipketer is their big chance in the 800. He's won 3 world championships. The Kenyans wouldn't let him compete in 1996. They qualified for women's handball, where they are the reigning Olympic champions. Peter Gard and Camilla Martin, who are partners in real life, partner also in the mixed doubles of badminton, and they are amongst the gold medal favourites. Strong in sailing, as I said, Kip Keter, watch for him in the 800 metres.
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
A small team from Djibouti, located on the northeastern coast of Africa. Just a team of 6, 4 track and field athletes, 1 sailor and 1 hoping to do well in judo.
Dominica.
An island in the Caribbean south of Guadeloupe and north of Martinique. They first went to the Olympics in 1996. Just a team of 4. Marcel Daniel in the 400 carries the flag.
La République dominicaine.
Dominican Republic.
This is a much larger country. Wanda Rijo, one of their weightlifters, carries the flag. Women's weightlifting for the first time at the Olympics here. 13 in their team, located in the West Indies. They've been to all the games since 1964. They've got a very famous baseballer in America, plays for the Chicago Cubs, Sammy Sosa, who comes from the Dominican Republic. Their only medal was in 1984 in boxing.
L'Équateur.
Ecuador.
Ecuador is going to be without one of its favourite sons in Sydney for the next fortnight. Tennis player Nicolas Lopenti, who was to carry the flag, is out injured. His place, as far as the flag bearing is concerned, has been taken by Martha Tenorio, the marathon runner. Strong in marathon, strong in walking. Jefferson Perez trying to retain, no doubt, his 20-kilometre walk title. Sydney is going to be his very last race. Egypt has qualified this year in the men's handball, the men's indoor volleyball, being led by Yahya Rashwan, a young expert in the sport of taekwondo. They have a total of 6 gold, 6 silver and 6 bronze medals at the Olympics. Most of those have come in weightlifting, another in wrestling. Their last medal, in fact, was back in 1984. That was a silver in judo. Cairo bid for the 2008 games, unfortunately missed out.
El Salvador.
The smallest and most densely populated of the Central American countries. Eva Maria Dimas, a weightlifter in the 69-kilogram class, leading out this small team, still looking for their first Olympic medal. Maureen Kayla came 5th in the 1996 cycling points race. That's the best result ever by an athlete from El Salvador. Can they improve on it this year?
La Guinée équatoriale.
Equatorial Guinea.
Just 4 from Equatorial Guinea. Eric Malanga, their 100-metre freestyler, has the honour of carrying the flag. The west coast of Africa, several islands in the Gulf of Guinea make up Equatorial Guinea, I should say. Formerly Spanish Guinea. First went in 1984 to Los Angeles.
Eritrea.
Eritrea, well, they've been devastated by the war with Ethiopia. This is the first time that Eritrea has been to the Olympics, one of 4 nations making their debut in Sydney.
L'Estonie.
Estonia team of 32. Tonj Tanista sailing carries the flag. They competed at the Games in 1920-36 before they became part of the Soviet Republic. Erki Nur was the European champion in the decathlon and some sort of a chance for a medal here.
Ethiopia.
Well, one of the giants, aren't they? Ethiopia. Tarata Tulu is carrying the flag. She's the first black African woman to win an Olympic title. She went from a captain to a major after she won it. She owns a hotel in Ethiopia and she's a mum, and she is back and will be running in the 10,000 that she won in Barcelona in 1992. She's famous. This man's even more famous. We saw him for a moment there. Haile Gebrselassie hasn't been beaten since 1993 in a 10,000. He's going for his 2nd Olympic gold medal.
Fiji.
If ever a country was searching for gold, it is Fiji. A huge draw, a country that has been rocked by political turmoil, armed rebels, led by George Speight storming the parliamentary compound in Suva back in May. Now they've got to try and turn it all around.
La
Finland.
Following Fiji, Olli-Pekka Karjalainen, the Finnish hammer thrower, leading out his team. They could crack the 100 in Sydney. Finland has won 97 gold medals. And they were here in a hurry. They were the first team to arrive at the Olympic Village. They were here on the 2nd of September, bringing with them 73 athletes who are going to contest 15 sports. Javelin has been a great sport for them. Aki Pavanian, the wonder beat.
L'ex-République yougoslave de Macédoine.
former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia.
Republic of Macedonia competed for the first time as an independent nation in 1996 in Atlanta. Laszlo Popovski, their kayaker, carries the flag. A team of 10, a landlocked nation in the heart of the Balkans. No medals from Atlanta, just their second Olympics.
La France.
France.
Seventh biggest team with 343. David Doulet, their judoka in the heavyweight competition, who won in 96, carries the flag. They had a vote in France to see who should carry the flag. He was voted the most popular sportsman. He was injured at the World Championships last year, but he is back. Mary Jo Perec, well, will she run against Cathy Freeman? What a team they have, the French. Home of the modern Olympic Games through Baron Pierre de Coubertin, whose idea it was to renew the Olympics. They went to Athens in 1896. They won 161 gold medals. 15 of them were in Atlanta. They've competed at every Olympic Games, hosted them in 1900 and 1924. They're a brilliant team. They're cyclists, they're fencers, they've got good basketball teams. So many superstars. I guess for us that Mary Jo's the one we're thinking most of, aren't we? I hope she's relaxed tonight and ready for battle. He's a strong man, Doulet. He has an enormous record in judo. And like Felix Savon, he's just the right man to carry it, you'd think, that flag.
Le Gabon.
Gabon.
From France to a country whose language is French, Gabon, being led out by Melania Ngon. This country's on the west coast of Africa. They debuted in the Olympics in 1972, and they were the first nation to receive the official welcome to the athletes' village.
La Gambie.
Gambia.
Another smallish delegation being led out by Adama Niji, an 800-metre runner contesting her second Olympic Games. They, like a number of other countries, looking for their first medal.
Géorgie.
Georgia.
Led by George Asanidze. He set a world record in the 85-kilogram class in weightlifting at the European Championships in April. He'll be looking to bring that form to Sydney. Formerly a part of the USSR, Georgia debuted in 1996. And the government is backing their athletes. They've promised them $50,000 for a gold medal each and $30,000 for a silver, $20,000 to a bronze.
L'Allemagne.
Germany.
The fourth largest team. 436 athletes from Germany. Birgit Fischer, their canoe kayaker, aiming for her 6th gold medal and her 9th medal overall, is the flag bearer. She won her first medal back in 1980. What an extraordinary achievement by this woman. Always a powerful team. 65 medals they won in Atlanta. 20 of those were of the golden colour. Yet interestingly enough, Germany, for them, is one of their smaller teams. It's their smallest team to an Olympics since unification in 1990. Strong in a number of sports, though, including cycling. Jens Fiedler going for his 3rd win in a row in the 1,000 metres sprint, and of course very strong in equestrian. The action getting underway at Horsley Park tomorrow.
Le Ghana.
Ghana.
The Ghanaians follow the Germans. 31 athletes. Osai Kennedy from track and field is their flag bearer. They've got a brilliant sprinter who won the African Championships this year, Zakari, and they'll have a very good men's 4x100 metre team. They didn't come to Melbourne in 1956, but they did go to Helsinki 4 years earlier. We welcome them here with open arms.
La Grande-Bretagne.
Great Britain.
The 8th largest contingent. Special moment for Matthew Pinson, Bruce, from Great Britain. This fine rower is going for his 3rd gold medal.
Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, top-class rider herself, Olympian member of the IOC. Yes, Pinson goes again with Redgrave, who's one of the biggest stories of the Olympics, Steve Redgrave. He's hoping to win a 5th, there he is, a 5th consecutive gold medal in rowing. They only won 1 gold medal in Atlanta in all the sports, which is astonishing for a team that has had such a proud and brilliant record in the Olympics.
And Pinson really hasn't had a lot of the spotlight. It's been falling on, naturally enough, Steve Redgrave, so it's nice to see Matthew Pinson, who is a dual gold medalist at the moment.
Simon Lessing is one of the favourites in the men's triathlon, if not the overwhelming favourite on Sunday morning.
Grenada.
From Great Britain to Grenada, Hazel-Anne Regis. Another fine 400 metres runner, carrying the flag. Debuted in 1984, they've never won a medal.
Guam.
Guam.
Neither has Guam. But Guam was the first port of call for the 2000 torch relay after it left Greece.
Le Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Attila Solti carries the flag. He's won 4 world championships in shooting. Could he be their first ever medalist? He must be a chance. He looks confident already. 7 world records he's got. Didn't come to Melbourne, but they're in Sydney. They started in 52, northernmost of the Central American nations.
La Guinée.
Guinea.
6 from Guinea. Lola Joseph is their flag bearer. In West Africa on the Atlantic, this is their 7th Olympics.
La Guinée-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau.
Another country who made their debut at Olympic Games in 1996. Just a small team who've been acclimatising in Albury-Wodonga. We wish them well.
Le Guyana.
Guyana.
Eliane Pompey with the flag of Guyana, a 400-metre runner who won the indoor NCAA title this year in America. They have just 1 Olympic medal, a bronze in boxing.
Haiti.
Haiti with their 5 athletes. They've got a number of top-class Americans that have come into their team, and they could get a medal.
Le Honduras.
Honduras.
Alejandro Castellanos, their 100-metre freestyler, is their flag bearer. They drew with Nigeria, the defending champions, on Wednesday night, 3-3 in men's football. They've qualified for the first time. They have a famous Argentinian coach, and they would fancy themselves a bit there. We have to play them.
Hong Kong, Chine.
Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong, China, who won a gold medal in sailboarding in 1996. Team of 31.
La Hongrie.
Hungary.
Another strong team from Hungary being led out by flag bearer Rita Coburn. A fine canoeist. She's won 2 gold medals, 2 silver and 1 bronze, and she's competing in her 4th Olympic Games. And Hungary may just have the heir apparent to the master of the rings in gymnastics, Yuri Keki. Will it be the turn of Sylvester Cholony this year at the Superdome? He's not with us tonight because the gymnasts, the men's qualifying, gets underway tomorrow morning. Fencing has been another of Hungary's most successful sports. 74 medals they've won in the sport of fencing. Water polo as well. Best remembered. Remember the game between the Soviet Union and Hungary in Melbourne in 1956. That was after the Soviet invasion of Hungary. A game that will be remembered for all the wrong reasons for a long, long time.
Iceland.
What a happy team from Iceland coming into the stadium now, being led by young hurdler Gudrun Anatol, hoping to add to their 2 medals at the Olympics, one in 56 and one in 84.
India.
The Indians, Leander Paes is their flag bearer. Paes and Bapati have got back together. Will they take on the Woodies in the final here? The second most populous country. They're Grand Slam winners. Men's hockey has been their deal over the years. 8 gold medals.
Indonesia.
The Indonesians, well, badminton is their strength. They've got great pairs, including Rexy and Ricky, and Rexy is carrying the flag. Rexy Mala, they won the men's doubles in 1996 in Atlanta. They got 4 medals there. Watch for them in badminton. They will be powerful. 48 in total. First went to the Olympics in 52 in Helsinki. They came to Melbourne in 1956 as well.
La République islamique d'Iran.
Islamic Republic of Iran.
If it's wrestling stars you want to find, go to Iran. Led out by Amir Razakadam, captain of the wrestling team and a bronze medalist in Atlanta. They won 3 medals in Atlanta, all of them in wrestling.
L'Iraq.
Iraq.
Well, there were 37 in the Iranian team, just 4 from Iraq. But you'd imagine if they get together in a wrestling match, there'll be some sort of a contest, wouldn't they? They're very good in wrestling and weightlifting.
Irlande.
Ireland.
The Irish, and Sonia O'Sullivan is their flag bearer. Sonia, who's a mum, was the world champion in the 5,000 in 1995. European champion in 1998. Her partner Nick Bordeaux is an Australian. She lives a lot of the year in Australia. She trains with a lot of the Australians. She's a huge favourite here. Her little daughter Kiara was born last year, and Sonia runs here in the 5 and 10,000 metres.
Israel.
Sending its largest ever delegation, 39 athletes. Israel, led by Rogel Nehem, a triple jumper, competing in his 3rd Olympics. He was at Barcelona and Atlanta. Twice a finalist in the World Championships, 4th in the European Championships in 1998. So he again is a chance in this his 3rd Olympics. Did pretty well in the 4x100 medley relay in Atlanta, Israel. They'll be hoping to repeat that feat once again. Sailboarding also is another of their sports they enjoy.
L'Italie.
Italy.
Talk about popular teams. This is the 5th largest contingent of these games. 387 athletes representing Italy. Their flag bearer, Carlton Myers. What a moment for this man. The first black Olympic flag bearer for Italy. His dad was a Jamaican, his mother from Italy, captain of the Italian team. And he scored 18 points in the game that gave Italy their first European title in 17 years. He became a national hero. And they've had plenty of those too, including the great diver Klaus Dibiase, the only person to win a diving medal 3 times in a row on the high board in 68, 72 and 1976. And of course we saw their football team in action earlier in the week when they defeated a very brave Australia 1-0 at a packed MCG in front of 98,000 fans. They qualified for many team events this year: baseball, men's basketball, football, as I said, softball, men's and women's volleyball, and men's water polo.
Nothing much uniform about their uniforms, Sandy. They look great, don't they? They really do. They are enjoying themselves. They are into it, so to speak.
They won 35 medals in Atlanta, 13 gold, 10 silver, and 12 bronze. And don't forget the pirate, Marco Pantani, heading the Italian road race team. He'll be there.
Jamaica.
Well, it's a hard act to follow. The Italians won't like up with buzzing, but the Jamaicans are good. Dion Hemmings carries the flag bearer. She's the first Jamaican woman to win a gold medal. Gee, they didn't give Jamaica much time, did they? But I must mention Merle Ottey, I'm sorry, at 40 years of age, at a 6th Olympics.
Exactly right. What an achievement. And here's the very colourful team from Japan, sending some 260 athletes here to Sydney, so it's a big contingent. They've qualified for baseball, softball and men's football.
A very different reception to the one they got in Melbourne, I would imagine, in 1956.
No doubt about that.
Up until that point, only their diplomats were allowed really into Australia. It was the first time they were able to come back after World War II en masse.
They have a number of legends in sport, though, in Japan. One is Sukahara in gymnastics. Nice to see his son now representing his country following his father. Jordan, led by Princess Haya bint Al Hussein. And isn't she enjoying this moment, as every athlete is representing her country in equestrian, in jumping, which, as we said, gets underway tomorrow.
Le Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan, the second largest in area of the former Soviet republics, competed for the first time as an independent nation in Atlanta in '96 and did very well, winning 11 medals, 3 of those gold. One of them, modern pentathlete gold medalist Alexander Paragon, now lives in fact in Melbourne, and his lack of English has meant that he's delivering pamphlets and pizzas for a living. Just missed out though on the residency deadline for Sydney, but he should be with Australia in 2004. Kazakhstan has qualified for both the men's and women's water polo.
Le Kenya.
Well, don't you love them, the Kenyans? They bring so much to the Olympic Games with their great distance runners. Paul Turgat will be taking on Haile Gebrselassie. Nien will be taking on, there's Tekla Larut, by the way. They're absolutely brilliant marathon runner. She's the world record holder. She'll run in the 10,000 and the marathon. I don't know how she's going to do it, but she reckons she will. She's extraordinary. They've got a women's volleyball team here. They've been in Adelaide for a long time. They are a star-studded lineup, and it's getting closer. As we look outside for a moment, the torch. But the Kenyans, if they don't win the steeplechase, Sandy, they'll swab them. There'll be a steward's inquiry, I can tell you. They are great, the Kenyans.
Les délégations du Comité olympique de Corée et du Comité olympique de la République populaire démocratique de Corée vont défiler ensemble sous le nom de Corée.
The delegations of the Korean Olympic Committee and the Olympic Committee of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea marching together as Korea.
This is one of the unforgettable moments in sport. Athletes from South Korea and the People's Democratic Republic of Korea together as one. Dual flag bearers. Yoon Sun Chung, a female basketballer, and Pat Jong Choi, a young man who is skilled in the art of judo. And isn't it nice to see? Flying the Peninsula of Korea flag, marking that team as a unified team. And that is without doubt a special sign to the entire world.
It's a great victory for Juan Antonio Samaranch. He really pushed hard.
Le Kuwait.
From Korea, still enjoying the applause of Juan Antonio Samaranch, to Kuwait, led by Fawzi Al-Shamari, 400-metre runner. Kuwait will be hoping to do well in football. They've qualified in men's football. Their best finish came at the 1980 Games. And their team tied for 5th.
Le Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan, a republic in Central Asia. Their flag bearer is Aratbek Sanabayev, a wrestler, a Greco-Roman wrestler in the 85-kilogram class. Kyrgyzstan competed as an independent nation for the first time in Atlanta in 1996, and they're still looking for that elusive first medal.
La République démocratique populaire, Laos.
Lao People's Democratic Republic.
Laos, whose all of their Olympians have finished last or next to last in every event they've ever entered. That doesn't take away any of their spirit.
La Lettonie.
Latvia.
To Latvia with 45. Lusis, their top javelin thrower, is their flag bearer. They won their first gold medal in 1988 with a canoe kayak sprint. 45 athletes, as I said, prior to its annexation by the Soviet Union in 1940. They competed in 24, 28, 32 and 36.
Le Liban.
Lebanon.
Lebanon, led by their high jumper Jean-Claude Rabat. They boycotted Melbourne with all the problems in the Suez Canal in 1956, with the Israel occupation of the Sinai. 6 athletes here.
Lesotho.
Lesotho.
Following them, the athletes from Lesotho, led by Mokiti Mokoshi, skilled in Taekwondo. As the torch makes its way closer and closer, we greet Liberia. Kayuti Maweth, their team captain, and a star of their athletics 4x100 relay team.
La Jamahiria arabe libyenne.
Libyan Arab Jamahiria.
A small team from Libya, led by Nazir Nali from Taekwondo fame.
Le Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
2 athletes from Liechtenstein. The women only received the right to vote in 1984. It is the Olympic year for women.
La Lituanie.
Lithuania.
62 from Lithuania. Roman Novatas, their world champion discus thrower, is their flag bearer. They have the favourite in the discus. It's not Novatas this time, it's Vilgius Alekna. They have a good, strong team. Men's basketball, watch for them.
Le Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Dignitaries all around the world here. As you would expect, 7 from Luxembourg. Their 50-metre freestyler Lara Hines is the flag bearer.
Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Known as the Great Red Island for its fertile red soil, perhaps their most famous athlete, Jean-Louis Ravello. We know him in Australia, the only man to win the famous stall gift off scratch back in 1975.
Le Malawi.
Malawi.
Malawi, led by Francis Munthali, 1500-metre star.
La Malaisie.
Malaysia.
And Malaysia. Minawan Narawi, captain of the men's hockey team, turns 29 in 4 days' time. What a great sportsman he is too, affectionately known as the Boss. He was recently named in the World Hockey 11 by the International Hockey Federation.
Les Maldives.
Maldives.
The Maldives, just a team of 4. They have a 13-year-old swimmer, the youngest competitor here at the Olympics. A young girl, just 13 years of age.
Le Mali.
Mali.
5 from Mali. Ibrahim Guando is their flag bearer. Most of Mali lies in the Sahara Desert.
Malte.
Malta.
Malta in the Mediterranean. First competed in 1928. Laurie Pace, their judoka, is their flag bearer, as he was in 1992. Just a small team.
La Mauritanie.
Mauritania.
Another small but colourful team from Mauritania, led by Sidi Mohamed Bijel, a 1,500 metres runner.
Maurice.
Mauritius.
Mauritius, with boxer Marie-Michael Makaki leading the way. Mauritius has never won an Olympic medal. They've been settling into Australian conditions in Adelaide.
Le Mexique.
Mexico.
Following them is Mexico. Nice to see too the Australian government helping young athletes from countries like Mauritius and Mexico with scholarships. Fernando Platas, a wonderful diver. This is his second games. Made the final of the springboard and the platform in Atlanta. There he is, their flag bearer. Can he do it again?
Les États fédérés de Micronésie.
Federated States of Micronesia.
Manuel Minginfel, a weightlifter, 22-year-old, competing in the men's 62-kilogram class, leading out.
République de Moldova.
Republic of Moldova.
Former member of the Soviet Union, 34 here. Vadim Vakochuk, for weightlifter, is their flag bearer. They're very strong in Greco-Roman wrestling and weightlifting. No medals in 1996, but they competed in the unified team in 1992 and then in their own right in 1996. There's Greg Norman, who carried the torch today over the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Monaco.
Well, Monaco, some of the great athletes of the world actually live here, but they don't actually compete for them. It's the tax scheme, isn't it? Prince Albert might be their most famous athlete, and there he is, a member of the International Olympic Committee, who also carried the torch this week in New South Wales.
La Mongolie.
Mongolia.
So from Monaco to Mongolia, 20 in their team. Now that is an impressive flag bearer. But Erdene, that is a different uniform. I hope Andrew Gaze looks nothing like that when he comes out. That is fantastic. He's a judoka in the 100-plus category.
I can tell you Andrew doesn't look anything like that.
Bill Gates, the world's richest man, looking on. But the Mongolians, they got a bronze medal in 1996, and they've got some powerful sports, including boxing and wrestling and judo. Morocco are next.
Morocco.
And here they are. Adil Belgade, judoka player, is there. Flag bearer is his 30th birthday, but Hisham El Garouj is their big star, the 1,500-metre freak, who is the hottest of hot favourites here. He'll be one of the great stars of the Olympics.
Le Mozambique.
Mozambique.
One man who's not a hot favourite but is a star is the flag bearer for Mozambique, Jorg Duvan, just 17 years of age. They thought they lost him in the big floods early this year. They did for 6 weeks, but they found him.
Le Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Formerly known as Burma. Till 1989, the athletes from Myanmar, led by Mong Mong Ni, 5,000-metre star.
La Namibie.
Namibia.
From their small team of 7 to Namibia. Another boxer leading them out, Paulus Numbembe. One of 3 nations to make their debut in Barcelona, and of course home of Frankie Fredericks.
Nauru.
Nauru.
Nauru, led out by Marcus Stephen, who's so well known here, a triple Commonwealth Games gold medalist in weightlifting. He's had a lot of training here. Paul Coffer, the Australians, had so much to do with Marcus and his success.
Le Népal.
Nepal.
Nepal, Home of Mount Everest, the world's largest mountain. Team of 5.
Les Pays-Bas.
Netherlands.
A bigger team coming from the Netherlands, led by Ankie van Grunsven, champion of dressage, a dual silver medalist in Atlanta, a silver medalist in Barcelona, and again hoping for big things in the dressage event on his horse Bonfire. Netherlands, of course, often referred to as Holland, won 19 medals in Atlanta, and that was equaling their best ever haul. They've had some great sportsmen and women, haven't they? Fanny Blankers-Koen, 4 gold medals in 1948. And they have a wonderful athlete competing here too, Inge de Bruin.
Les Antilles néerlandaises.
Netherlands Antilles.
Self-governing Dutch territory, the Caribbean islands, Netherlands Antilles, first competed in 1952.
La Nouvelle-Zélande.
New Zealand.
Enter New Zealand, led by Blythe Tate, a gold medalist in Atlanta on his horse Ready Teddy. He'll be hoping to emulate that feat in the 3-day equestrian. Big team from New Zealand this year. Their best result was back in 1988 with 13 medals. One of their best ever results against Australia, though, was in 1976 when they beat Australia in the men's hockey final. And that was one of the great Olympic upsets. Distance running, of course, Bruce, has been very good to them. We think of runners like John Walker,
Peter Snell, Murray Halberg and Dick Quacks and Rod Dixon.
And the Torch, incidentally, visited New Zealand before flying from Auckland to Ayers Rock.
Le Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
The sport of shooting gets underway tomorrow. Walter Martinez, an expert in the 10-metre air rifle, is the flag bearer. Nice to see them back in the Olympic family.
Le Niger.
Niger.
Niger is a country located in the interior of northern Africa. First competed in 1964, won its only medal in 1972. That was in boxing.
Le Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Nigeria's led out by Sunday Bato, who's at his 3rd Olympics, 31-year-old 400-metre runner. I wonder if Gloria Losey is out there tonight, who lost her loved one, Igina Sanugo, who wasn't in the team. She was brought from Yokohama, where she was going to compete. She's a brilliant 100-metre hurdler. She was second to Gail Divas last year, and she will, we believe, be competing here.
She's going to run in his memory, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Just a young girl.
They will be so strong in many of the athletic events.
La Norvège.
Norway.
Big team, 100 exactly. Vajan Rodal, who won the 800 metres gold medal in Atlanta, leads them out. They're very strong in women's handball. They're the world champions. Women's football, they're particularly strong in, even though they were beaten by the United States in the opening round. Knut Holman is their brilliant canoeist, second in 92 behind Clint Robinson, and then turned the tables in 96. And Trini Hutterstadt is their magnificent javelin thrower and one of the favourites.
Oman.
So from the might of Norway to Oman, Mohammed Al Malki, their 400-metre runner from the past, is carrying the flag. Just 8 competitors here. They have a 14-year-old boy competing for them, the youngest male in Sydney.
Le Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Led by Pakistan skipper and hockey goalkeeper Ahmed Alam, Ahmed trying to bring home Pakistan's first hockey medal, gold medal that is, since 1984. Had some enormous tussles with a number of countries, but perhaps none more so than with their arch rival India in hockey over the years, and I wonder if that's going to happen again. They've sent a team of 43.
Palau.
Another first-timer in Sydney. Palau, Oceania group of islands in the North Pacific Ocean. And they've had a real battle too to get here.
La
Palestine.
Another one of the small teams. In fact, a team of just two.
Panama.
From Palestine to Panama. Eileen Copperopper, a 19-year-old freestyle swimmer specialising in the 50 metre and 100 metres, leading out her team, competing in her first Olympics. They just sent 5 athletes to Barcelona, a bigger squad here.
Papua New Guinea.
And Northern Neighbours, it's a national holiday tomorrow, and they celebrate their 25th anniversary of independence. It's a huge day for them. The torch relay went through the Kokoda Trail.
Le Paraguay.
Paraguay.
To Paraguay, surrounded by Brazil and Bolivia and Argentina and South-Central South America. Neri Kennedy is their flag bearer. Small team.
Le Peru.
Peru hoping for big things in volleyball and in shooting. Rosa Garcia is their volleyball star, one of them, leading the team. Peru has won 4 medals, a gold in 1948, a silver in 84 and a silver in 92, all of them in shooting. And silver in a women's volleyball in 1988.
Les Philippines.
And now here come the team from the Philippines. Led by Taekwondo expert Donald Geisler. Very tall athlete for that sport. He's just 22 years of age, but in the old language, well over 6 feet.
La Pologne.
Poland.
Speaking of talls, as we watch Andrei Wronski, the Greco-Roman wrestler and Olympic gold medalist, leading out Poland. Poland has the tallest woman at these Olympics, Margot Didek, a basketballer. Margot's sister actually is in the team as well. But if she stands next to the kitchen door, it's 2.13 metres, or in the old terminology, 7 feet. Poland's team's been staying up in Brisbane. They've qualified in a number of team events, basketballs I mentioned, also men's hockey. And they've got a very, very good teenage weightlifter, Simon Kalecki, in the 94 kilogram class, just 18 years of age and already a world record holder.
Portugal.
Portuguese will be strong in the distance races, 80 in total here. Miguel Mayer from beach volleyball is their flag bearer. They have the favourite in the men's marathon.